All right, team call. I've hit the record button. I want to introduce Nikki, who has been a coach. Nikki, I think you've been a coach for 2 years, haven't you?
2 or 2.5.
Yeah,
well, it's been about 2, maybe.
Yeah. So Nikki started as a challenger, and truthfully, when she had started, she wasn't even my customer. She had purchased T25.
T25.
Yeah, T25 just on her own. She actually got some Shakeology samples from me, and then from there ordered Shakeology. Then eventually became a coach, which I was grateful for. And I asked Nikki to become a coach because she really was just such a positive influence in the challenge group. She was someone that was very honest and real. She was very honest about her journey. She was very honest about her struggles and her victories, and she was always so positive. And those are the people that I look for to be on the team. And so I asked her. She really wasn't that interested at first, kind of said, "Oh, I'll think about it." And I just kind of kept asking and saying, "Oh, yeah, you've been a coach for a little over 2 years." Signed up in December of 2015. So I just kept asking, and then eventually it was, "Okay, for the discount, yeah, sure."
Yeah.
Coach. And we are fortunate where we live. There was a live instructor that moved into town and started offering live classes. Nikki started going to some of her classes, discovered that teaching and doing live classes was something that she loved. And I really wanted Nikki to talk to us tonight because Nikki doesn't have a traditional coaching business. She does most of her coaching in person through classes. And so she's just a great example of you can really work this business however you want. Nikki does not do online challenge groups because she doesn't like them. So she invites her clients into mine, which is totally appropriate because that's kind of why you have this team structure. If you don't like running challenge groups, you have a coach that is there to help you, or you could team up with a fellow coach, whatever works. But Nikki's always been very honest with me that she doesn't like those online challenge groups, and that's okay because she participates in them well, and I'm always grateful for that. So I wanted Nikki just to talk more about what it takes to become an instructor, some of the resources for instructors, and a little bit more about her story, because obviously it's a unique addition to our team, and it's something that I think a lot of other people could explore if being a live instructor is something you're interested in. So I'm going to mute myself, Nikki, and take it away.
Okay. So like Kira said, it's been a couple years since I met her. Going on 3 years, the 19th of this month. I had a stroke following, very shortly after I found out I was pregnant with my third baby. And so obviously didn't end up having a baby. This is my little family right here, though. Boop, right here. So after the doctor said it was okay to start back again, I did T25 because it's my all-time favorite and the one that I always fall back to. But after I finished that, I moved into PIO because a lot of my balance was gone. When if my head went down lower than my heart and stuff, like the headaches and everything, it was just kind of hard to deal with. So I went into PIO because it wasn't going to tax my body, and it was going to help with my balance and help with all of that stuff, and maybe tone your body. So I was like, yes, I'll do it. So I started it. I loved it. I did it for a long time. If you've done PIO, at the end of some of the tapes, Shalene is always like, you need to try a live class. And if you can't get to a live class, then you need to be an instructor. I heard that tape so many times. And so like Kira said, one of the ladies in town, it was probably a year, maybe almost 2 years ago, had moved into town and was teaching Insanity and Size live classes. So for my first year anniversary after the stroke, I went to an Insanity live class to prove to myself that I was quite capable of this and doable. And so it kind of just went from there. So I continued on with those live classes for quite a while, and then decided that I could teach this. Like, I love PIO. Why couldn't I teach it? And so I had looked at it quite a bit online. You can find classes if you just go to Beachbody Live. They will list like dates and stuff for specific classes that you wanted. The only ones I could find were down in Colorado, and that's kind of a long ways. So I put it off a little bit, but then one of them happened to come up in Bozeman, and so that's not very far from me. So I kind of just told Trav, I'm gonna do this, and he just said, okay. So we went up one weekend. It was a day certification. It was, I think it's 8 hours, and you go through all the moves. They teach you how to cue. They teach you like how to encourage your class and what to look for, and then you just work. You're certified on a round. I certified on 47, but now they've created a signature round, so any new instructors that they teach are always taught on this signature round. But then when you start to teach, if you choose to teach, you can start on signature round or any of the others. So that's where I am at today. I do not like the challenge groups. Like Kira said, I did try them when I first started coaching. It's just very frustrating. The coaches put so much effort into the groups and the posting and being consistent for them, and it's frustrating when nobody partakes in it. So I didn't like that, but bless Kira's heart for really liking it, because I don't. So she gets my people that I meet in class. So I'm coaching or teaching live classes probably about 1.5 years ago, and it was kind of nerve-wracking at the beginning. It's kind of like public speaking, but if after the time you kind of find your niche and you get comfortable with who you are, and they don't have to come if they don't want to. The reason I like a live class is because if somebody wants to try for themselves and work on their fitness, they have to actually come to this class. And so if they come to this class, they want to be a part of it. It's not like, oh yeah, I'll do it online, but they never do anything. They'll come to class and they'll do it. I'm there to support them. I'm there to coach them along the way, encourage them. They have days where they get to kind of pick what they want to do, but for the most part, it's generally the same. And they know it's coming. They know the harder parts of the round, and we just kind of do it together. Anybody's welcome in my classes. There's no judging. A lot of PIO for me a lot of it is more emotional and mental for me than it is for physical. It is a very challenging class. Don't ever tell me that it's not hard because I will just ruin your life that day if you come into class. But I almost don't even know how to explain it. Something about just even doing PIO, even if I'm alone, changes everything. For some reason, it gives me the chance to just not think about anything, and by the time it's over, it's just a relief. I don't even know how to explain it, but Thursdays, I teach on Tuesday and Thursday nights in the evenings, and Saturday mornings. Thursday evenings, my participants are usually pretty tired by the end of the week and stuff, and you can kind of see, and I can sense when people come in if they've had a bad day, they don't feel like talking, whatever. When it's all said and done, you can kind of feel a relief from them, compared to when they came in. So that actually means a lot. And I work really hard for my class to be very welcoming. You don't have to do all of it. I don't want you to stop, but you're welcome to pause. You can get a drink. Kids are welcome where I teach at the shop, so you can bring your kids. If you need to stop and take care of your kid, you do that. They're there so they can have a moment for themselves, because I know what it's like of a mom not having time for anything of your own. So I really want that to be an important part for them, an important thing that they can go do for them and then feel kind of that relief that I do. So that's really why I just love it so much. Even if I don't feel like doing it, I'm not gonna lie, I have nights where I don't really want to do it. But once I get done and I get home and I was like, oh yeah, okay, it's just this feeling. And so I want everybody to love it like I love it. They don't, but whatever. So that's their choice. So like I said, the day is a 1-day certification. My instructor's name was, well, she's a master trainer. She trains in PIO, P90X, and a couple other ones, Turbo Kick, and one other one. So she travels like north, western Wyoming, kind of Oregon, Montana, Wyoming, Washington, to train instructors. Her name's Lana. She's I think she's in Washington. So you go through the class, and at the end you're certified. You get the option to join Pro Team, which is like about $26 a month, and you will automatically get your new rounds downloaded into your Pro Team account every month with Pro Team. When you're a live instructor, you get discounts on clothing, and you can get discounts on like Reebok and stuff like that too. So that's a highlight. Our new rounds come out every 8 weeks on the 15th, and everybody's always very excited. I trained on 47, and then when I joined Pro Team, I got to pick a free round. There was like a handful of them. I chose, I think it was 39, so I kind of went back a little bit, and then kept going forward with that. So currently I'm teaching 54 with my group right now. And they're doing good with it. They're 8 weeks. Each round is about 8 weeks. You can teach it for as long as you want probably, but by 8 weeks you can tell that they're kind of getting bored. And I'm not going to lie, some of the rounds I kind of get a little bit bored with too. And I'm just like, can we switch already? But so when I do go, I just, if it's time or if I feel like everybody's bored with it, I take a day or two, and they'll send you can download an outline for your the moves. They'll download music, and then there's a class video that you can do along, so they can show you all of the moves and ways to modify and stuff. So I spend about maybe a day practicing, and then I slowly add in, like, our power section is our shortest. It's one of the first ones I'll add with a new round, and then within a week we've transitioned into our next round. And so it's not everything all at one time, but it's just a little bit at a time. So because it can be confusing. My people that are new, I used to mark out each move with them before we started. So I'd pause the music, mark it, and then restart it. But a lot of the people didn't like it, and it was almost too confusing. So I just kind of go. The music that they give you will just go continually. You're free to pause it at any time. I try not to do a whole lot of pausing unless we're out of breath a lot. Because I'm trying to get on Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's at 7:30, so I try to get them about 45 minutes, and then I don't want them to be too late with whatever stuff, because a lot of the ladies, pretty much all of them, I think, have children and stuff. So and then on Saturday mornings, it's about the full hour. An entire class is just a little over an hour, and so we can get pretty much the whole thing. On Saturday mornings, Insanity or Core de Force follows my 8 a.m. class, so I just try to get what we can. Saturdays are usually harder. We don't pause as much. We just kind of go. And so I warn my ladies that come on Saturday, I don't have a lot of them, but say, this is going to be the entire thing. It's going to be a little bit harder, just so they're aware. But they all do really good. I usually average about 5 ladies, up to 10. It just kind of depends. It's pretty hard. Actually, last year, the wintertime, I had a lot of people, and we got really full most of the time, and then it kind of faded as summer went along. This time, I really haven't had, this summer, I didn't really have anybody. And then as winter came around again, they kind of started coming again. So that might be the trend. It's always hard to get people in the summer anyway, because it's hot and they're out of town and stuff. But so to be an instructor really isn't that hard. The beginning part takes a lot of practice. It's hard to learn to cue. It's hard to figure out your transitions. I practiced forever and ever before I initially started teaching it. But the more I do it, the classes have a structure, and it's always the same And so once you've done it for a little bit, you kind of get the hang of it. And for me, I just need to see the new moves. And I'll do them a couple of times and then I will jump into it. Now, I'm not perfect, not to say that I mess them up, because I do mess them up a lot, especially if it's a new round, but I just am like, hey, you know, I'm learning it too, you know. I'm not perfect either. So, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not capable of cueing, keeping count in my head and holding a conversation all at the same time. I can't do it. So our warm up is always the same. And so I use warm up time to talk and like, you know, what did you do today? What'd you have for dinner? You know, if somebody found deals on workout clothes or whatever, we just kind of talk about everything. And then I'm not going to lie, after that, I'm not good at talking because I'll just mess them up. And I've had times where I'm just like, what leg are we supposed to be on? Because I don't even know. Okay, so some days I suck at life, and I'm not going to lie. It just is what it is. And if I get really tired, my words, one of the major repercussions of the stroke, when I get tired, I can't find the words. I know it's in there, but it's not going to come out. And so that's hard too. So the days I'm more tired, I'm not as talkative. You won't find me being as talkative. And I'm not going to lie, I'll have headaches and stuff in class sometimes. And so I just shut the front lights off. I just make sure they're okay with it. And I just shut the light over my head off and just go with it. And it's fine. I don't have a headache when we're done, so you know, it's not a big deal. I'll teach pretty much. I only miss a class if I don't have a voice, or if I'm like puking or something. Otherwise, it's pretty totally doable. Not last week, but the week before, I got pneumonia, so I managed. I was teaching Thursday, but then after that, it was like, oh gosh, this isn't good. This is real bad. So I had pneumonia, and then that Tuesday, I only like half did it. You know, I'll cue them and stuff, but I won't partake in the entire class like I usually do, because I usually will do the entire round with them. So, and after so long, it's hard to not do the whole round with them. I haven't really gotten the hang of moving around the room or anything, because you'd be surprised. They go where I go. Even if I don't mean to go here, we're all going to do it together. So I haven't quite gotten that there, but we'll figure it out. So anyway, that's how I started. That's what I do right now. As far as resources for life coaches and stuff, they have quite a bit. Pro Team offers you can always get on Pro Team and ask questions. They're very nice. The Beachbody Live customer service is really nice. They just recently switched over to the digital downloads. You used to get a CD in the mail with your class, with the music and your class video and stuff, and now they download it all into your Beachbody Live account. And some people have a really hard time. It's hard to get the music and that video downloaded. And so I've had to call them before, and they're very nice. They'll reset stuff for you and everything. So they're very helpful. For PIO, there is a Facebook group for PIO Live instructors. Michelle is the lady, she's the lead choreographer for PIO. So she leads that Facebook group, and you can ask questions. She gets on there. She'll go on live every couple of weeks maybe or something, and you can just ask questions. They always want suggestions for music and stuff for the new rounds and everything. So and you can pretty much ask anything on that page. And then Lana, my master trainer that I got certified with, there's also a Northwestern PIO Live that I'm a part of too. So my internet is unstable, it tells me.
Yeah, it's told me that too. We must just have bad internet. Something must be going on.
Okay. So there are those resources. And then there is 2 other instructors in town now that are also live instructors. So for the most part, you don't really need a lot. Once you kind of figure out what you're doing, you kind of just go. Your class is your own class. It's not, I mean, you're supposed to stick to the schedule. You know, you can't interchange this song with like this section, you know. So there are rules. You're only allowed to videotape so long on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. But otherwise, how you lead your classes is kind of up to you. You get, like, I brought some of my stuff. When you can download these, are like the notes that they give you. Okay, so I have a little tiny notebook, and I just write down notes. The longer I do it, the smaller my notes get. So that's exciting. I think my first one probably has like 4 pages, but I really only need it for probably like the first couple weeks. After that, I don't usually open it up unless I'm having a bad day, which I do. And I just will totally forget what we're doing. Luckily, I have a couple ladies that have been coming to class since I very first started. So they're kind of my fallback. So if I'm doing one move, and I'm not going to lie, totally blank out on what's happening. And I'm like, what are we supposed to? And luckily they know what it is. So they've already went into it, and I'm like, oh gosh, yeah, okay. But notes are allowed. You can have your notes in front of you. I always have my notebook. I don't always open my notebook. Some days I'm really good at it, and some days I'm just a hot mess, and that is what it is, really. And I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people that come to class, I think, don't know my backstory about how it all started. And so I did have one lady asked me after class if I came to class drunk, and I was like, oh no, that's just how I am. So, but it's not a big deal to me, really. Most the people that know don't make fun of me, and I mean, my parents do, but it's just, they do, it's true. But I don't come dressed fancy. I rarely wear makeup. My hair, I mean, literally like a hot mess all the time. The only thing that's really exciting is like my new pants, you know, and I'll tell them, I don't come looking nice. I never come looking nice unless I've come from work, but I've worked for 12 hours, so I can't look that nice. Because that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to look nice. I'm not here to, make a fashion statement. I participate in Kara's challenge groups at home on the side. So I teach 3 days a week, and then I try to do stuff on top of that as well, try just for myself. But I'm not like I don't have like major huge changes. But for me, I kind of do. Where I was, almost 3 years ago on the 19th is nowhere where I am now. I am an introvert deep down, but teaching is changed me in that way. Like I'm more like by myself kind of a person, but in class I'm not. And I want them to know that it's okay that you are different, and it's okay when you weeble and wobble, because I'm gonna do it too. And you don't have to be great at it, and you need to modify that. You modify that. Like, there's no shame in that game. And I will usually have my girls always on the sides of me that are there all the time. I'll have them do the full move if the class wants to watch it, and then I will show the modifications for people so that they feel like, yeah, I can do this. Okay. Once in a while I'll do the whole thing, but if it's something that's harder and I know, like half of the class isn't doing, then I just kind of keep to the basic modification and let others, if they're feeling ready to, move ahead with the more challenging moves. Some of it's very hard. Some of it takes a really long time to get the hang of it. And sometimes you just aren't good at it. And it just is what it is. There's some things that people can't quite get the hang of, and that's fine. Like, they're showing up and they're participating, and I hope really enjoying themselves. And so that's really that's really what matters to me. I want them to feel welcome. I don't want them to feel like, they're by themselves and it's awkward because like they go to a gym. I don't want it to be that way. I want them to just know that everybody begins somewhere. We have jokes. If you come to the shop all the time, we have jokes about stuff, but you'll catch on. It's not hard. We have a running list of food that you do not eat before class, by personal experience. And so it's kind of like a little family, and everybody's just really supportive. There are parts that they don't like, and I know it, but it's usually their little cardio section. But it's only 3 minutes, and it's kind of one of my favorites, and so it's not a big deal. But it's we all do it together. So I'm telling them, and I always tell them like it hurts because it doesn't matter how many times I do it. If I am trying hard enough and I'm going deeper into all the stuff, I will be sore. I will be sweaty and tired. And so I am like, this hurts me just as much as it's hurting you guys, and I've done it like 15 times now, okay? So they have to start somewhere, and I want them to know that. I try to post, usually around lunchtime. I found I get the most interaction if I post the reminder for class the day of around lunchtime. And then it's usually a pretty good turnout then. And they'll tell me, like, I'm not going to make it this day. I have to do this, whatever. And I'm like, hey, there's no explanation needed as to why you can't make it. I'm glad you came this time, and they're always like, I'll be back whenever. Good, I'm glad. But I don't want them to ever feel like they have to explain themselves. So classes are, the way we do it, are $5. And then where I teach, you can get a pass that is 5 classes for $20. And then you can, they're interchangeable. So there's also size, insanity, and core de force at the shop where I teach. So your pass is good for all of those. And that seems to work really well. We keep track of everybody's stuff for them so they don't have to worry about it. And then that way they can come, they can enjoy themselves. They don't have to worry about, when they're due or if they need to pay, or those just kind of little things, their kids come. My kids are always there because Trav works out of town. There's rules as to where they can be and stuff, but at the same time, I have some ladies that have like little 1-year-olds and stuff, and if she can't work out because her little one is like upset or whatever, then her little one stays with her and she works out. If that's what she has to do to be able to get a workout and have a minute, that's what she does. It's not you get what you can get out of this class. And if you can make it, that's what I want most, is for you to be able to have a moment of time for yourself, doing something good for yourself with people that are going to encourage you. So I haven't really ever ran across anybody that was really like mean or negative or anything, so that's good. I did one time, but it wasn't my class, and she didn't come back, so that was good. But otherwise, I'm just really grateful to have found that it's something that I really do love and enjoy. And Kira knows that I won't do a group for her, but I always participate in her stuff. And, I just kind of took a little detour to a different direction is all. So I do have ladies that sign up with Shakeology because they've come to class, and so they'll ask. And so it kind of goes that way. But really, it's mostly just about giving them a chance to kind of learn what they're capable of doing with their body without, the hard cardio or weight or stuff that can be more taxing for people. So I hope that helps them as well too, because it's made a major difference in my body. I'm very, very flexible, very, I don't ache and that kind of stuff. So I'm always, pro PIO and T25 all the way.
Absolutely. So, Nikki, do you talk about nutrition at all, or do you share about Shakeology during your class, or do you ever sample it? Like, how does it come up?
Well, I've had most of the time they'll just ask what I do, and so that I tell them I do, that I drink the Shakeology. I give samples for people if they want, because I have like a couple extra bags here actually right now. So we do it that way, and then Jill has talked to a couple of her friends, one of my participants, and they live out of town, so that's how she kind of got them. So it's more about people asking what I do on my own outside of class that we end up talking about it.
Interesting. Yeah, I wasn't sure how, because I see, well, and just so you guys know, Nikki is a lifetime Emerald, so she has also signed coaches on under her, through being a live instructor. So I just was wondering how often you talked about Shakeology, or I don't know if people come to class saying like, yeah, I'm loving this for moving, but I also need help with nutrition.
I haven't really. Trying to think. We talk about like supplements and stuff for discomfort and that kind of thing, but we don't really talk a whole lot about nutrition. We've talked about the Beachbody recovery lines and stuff, or just the performance line kind of stuff. And I know some of the ladies do that kind of stuff. I've done the nighttime one and like it too, but it's mostly just the performance line, I think. And I have had a couple ladies though ask, like, because one of the girls is trying a free trial of the Beachbody on demand. So they'll ask too, like, what I do at home. As far as nutrition, not really.
Interesting. That's good to know. Well, and I know too that you personally don't step on the scale, and you don't do measurements. So I can see too where that's never going to be, you're not going to have a conversation about how, like, well, following this is what got me to lose 20 pounds. So.
Right. Yeah, I don't have a scale. I think I gave Kira measurements for the first time like 45 days ago with that, and I didn't like anything about that. It's not why I do it, and so I don't talk a lot about it. I don't do that for change. I mean, it's to change my body, but that's not why I do it. If my clothes fit good, or if they're fitting better, that's how I judge life. Outside of that, it's really not a major for me. I like food, so I mean, I'm just not gonna lie.
No, that's so great. So
I do like portion control stuff, and lots of veggies and stuff. I try to eat good, but it's not like it's nothing special, really,
Yeah. You're just you, and you're a great example about how coaching is everybody's individual journey. And I would hope too that I think you're always a good lesson for me to remind me that it's always an individual journey too. And I would hope that you would never think that I'm like, well, Nikki, if you don't do 21-day fix to the T, it's never going to work for you. So
the thing about, like, I'm glad I found you, because that I'm doing what I'm doing, and you know that I don't need a lot of help, but I'll ask if I need it, and you are supportive of the way that I kind of just go about my way.
You're always my favorite, because even if you ask me something and I tell you something and you're like, maybe I'll try that. I'm like, okay, whatever works.
Oh gosh, I know, I'm the worst.
No, actually, you're really easy. You really are one of my favorites. So I saw though that like Insanity is going to virtual. You're able to train virtually. Is that coming for all of them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think it was just last month they started doing virtual training, so people would have more availability for being certified. And so from my understanding, you sign up like you regularly do, but it takes place like with your computer, like we're doing right now. I've seen some pictures, like Ellen DeWard is one of the PIO ladies that I follow. She screenshotted her virtual training, and it was just a bunch of people, and I'm assuming they do it the same way. They just go through all the stuff and teach you how to do it. You're just not actually in the room with them. So I don't really know how it would work. They say it's working really well and people enjoy it. So I'm sure it would be the same concept if you like that kind of thing. I'm more of like a face-to-face kind of person, but I'm not going to lie, getting to Bozeman for a day, it can be hard to do that too. So yeah, they're going to do it with all of them as far as I know. I haven't really heard about like Country Heat because it's a live one too. But I know Insanity, I know Insanity and Pio have done it because I've seen them on those pages I follow.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Nice. Oh, I just have another question for you too, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, do you have to have any insurance or anything like that for wherever you host it? Are there any requirements that way?
No, I don't think so. Well, that's not true because when I got certified, they did it at what's that? 24-hour fitness. So I think the Beachbody Live is somehow, what's the word? Like connected with 24-hour fitness. So I don't know as far as like their insurance and stuff goes. Where I teach at, I don't have insurance. We do have a form that they sign when they're new that pretty much says like if you hurt yourself or you die, it's not our fault.
Right.
And then, but I do know the pages that I follow, a lot of the women that teach at the larger gyms, like the 24-hour fitness or those, they do talk about insurance. The gyms carry it, but I think some of the instructors also carry their own just to be careful. So, and I don't think it costs very much. I have malpractice insurance for work, and it's only $100 a year. So I'm sure their insurance coverage for that is just not much either.
Similar. Yeah.
Say hi. You can say hi.
Hi. Well, awesome. Thank you. Do you have anything else that you want to share?
I don't think so. I covered all my notes.
Yeah, that was great. I actually learned a lot because I'm not in that realm. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I would like to be an instructor, and then I'm like,
right.
I don't have the time to do it.
Right. How could you have the time? I mean, come on now.
I would just have 6 little instructors.
You just have 6 kids at your class.
They'll be my participants every night.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, he leads class. Like he'll stand up front and do class with me. So
it's perfect.
Yeah.
Setting a great example.
I know, right?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nikki, for taking time to share with us. And if anybody has any questions, I will just have them comment under this video when I upload it. But I appreciate you taking that time.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, let me stop.